The secret to a good adobo is a cold SMB. All right, that's the first thing we do is we crack one of those open, baby. I like a lot of garlic, so I never shy away from adding garlic. Garlic makes everything better. Makes everything better, folks. You gotta have the garlic. Step number one, chopping the garlic and onion. Alright, there we go. We're getting her done here. Alright folks, nothing too special going on here. You know, everybody sauteed onions and garlic before. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to let these go until the onions are opaque. Actually, I like to see just a little bit more oil in the pan there, so we're going to add just a touch. Again, we just want those onions to go off. You should be able to see through them. Okay? Come back to that. Alright, now we're going to work on cutting up our vegetables that are going to go in here. Professional prep work, folks. There you go. We got everything ready to rock. Our pork cubes are cut up already. Alright, those came from Pure Gold. Don't remember the price. Let me look for you. I'll give you the price on that. That was a kilo of pork. That's 1 kilo. And we've got our onions and garlic sauteing in there. Okay. Stay tuned for the next step, folks. Okay, now what I want to see there is just a little bit of browning on the onions and garlic. Alright, just a little bit of browning. This is what it should look like. You've got your onions are starting to get that caramely opaque look to them. And what I like to do is separate this. Now I won't throw my meat in here on top of this. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to pull all this out and separate it and add it back into the meat once the meat's cooked. Okay, there you go. So we've got our sauteed onions and garlic separated here on a small plate. Those are going to go back in the pot once the pork is cooked. Okay, now next step is going to be, we're going to add a little bit more oil. Now again, folks, this is my recipe, okay? I don't want to see in the comment section, oh, you did that wrong, you did that wrong. Bullshit, I didn't do nothing wrong. This is Philo's recipe. And this is better than your mama's recipe, I'm telling you right now. We're going to add this pork in here. Look at that. Deliciousness, baby. I'm not even going to cut that pork down, okay? I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Now this is an adobo recipe, and I'm a professional cook. So all we do is add a little bit of salt and pepper, guys. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all your adobo recipe needs. You don't start going off on a fucking tangent like Overstay does and adding 18 different spices. You keep it simple, baby. Keep it simple. And all of your flavor, anyway, all of your flavor is going to come from this guy here. That's your secret weapon, that Knorr pork cube. That's your secret weapon. And of course, your soy sauce and your vinegar. That's where your flavor in adobo comes from. You don't need to put 17 different spices in there. Okay, we're going to let this go now. This is going to simmer for probably 10 minutes or longer. Goodbye. I actually could have cut this pork down, but I'm just going to leave it. I like these big chunks. Okay, we'll come back a little bit later, guys, at the next stage of the cooking. I hope you are enjoying Philo in the Philippines' first cooking show, my world-famous adobo recipe. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, now we're back. You can see we've got some really nice color going on some of these guys. Look at that. Alright guys, this is where we go into adobo mode, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the temperature down on this. At this point, the onions and garlic go back into the pot. We've got a nice brown color on some of this meat. The onions and garlic are going to go back in there and mix deliciously with that pork. We're going to lower this down. Now, again, this is my recipe. We're going to add just a little bit of water. Okay. Now, I eyeball everything. So we're just going to put this soy sauce in. A little bit of vinegar. I don't measure anything. I eyeball everything. It's about a half tablespoon to a quarter tablespoon. Or sorry, yeah, it's about a full tablespoon to a half tablespoon. The difference. Rachel Ray taught me years ago to eyeball everything. 1 pork cube going in. This is where we make adobo, guys. We simmer it. We're going to slow simmer this. There's the second cube going in. And I'll just monitor this now to see if I like the amount of liquid that's in it. Because what's going to happen is this is going to simmer and we're going to reduce that liquid down. You can see the coloring we've got going already. We've got that delicious brown coloring going. I'm going to put the lid on this and just let that simmer for about 10-15 minutes. Alright, that's how you do it, baby. We'll be back in just a few minutes on the next step. We got our boiled eggs over here going. Everything's rocking and rolling. We're looking good, guys. Philo in the Philippines, world famous pork adobo recipe. Come back in just a minute. Alright, I want you guys to take a good look at this. Alright. Overstay, pay attention to what's going on here. You see how thick and beautiful that sauce is. Now this has been going for about, a little over 5 minutes. But look at that. Look how that sauce is actually thickened up in there. That's like Aunt Jemima, baby. Look at that. That's Aunt Jemima deliciousness. And it's got that wonderful adobo flavor. That pork is starting to tenderize. It's beautiful. We're going to go about 5 more minutes, guys, on the simmer. 5 more minutes on the simmer, and we're going to add the vegetables and let it go for about maybe 10 minutes. And I'm on the lowest setting. I'm on number 1 on the electric range. We sauteed that pork on number 6. So basically a high flame. I really hate cooking on this. I prefer to cook on a flame so I can see what the hell's going on. But this is what I've got to work with. And I'm a world-class chef, so it doesn't matter. I can cook on anything. Our eggs are starting to boil over there. That's looking good. Okay, come back in a few minutes, guys. All right, folks. We're back. We've got a nice simmer going on here. I'm going to turn it up just 1 notch to number 2. And we're going to add all of these vegetables in here. The potatoes and carrots. Delicious recipe. Look at that. It just doesn't get any better. It just doesn't get any better. Now what I'm going to have to do, I can see already, I have to add a little bit of liquid to this. I'm going to have to bring that broth up just a little bit. So, which means we're going to have a really long simmer time, because when you add water like this to the middle of a recipe, it cools the pot down considerably. So you wouldn't know that, Overstay. That's chef shit right there. We got our eggs boiling over here. Those guys are going to be ready to rock. I'm going to go ahead and turn those down to the lowest setting and just let them chill. So there you go. Now we're in the simmer mode, folks. I'll bring you back when we've got that beautiful golden brown deliciousness covering all the vegetables, all the pork. And this is going to be quite a big batch. So I'll have some to take over to Jonah and the girls at the salon. And they'll be stoked because they love to eat Philo's cooking. There you go. More later, guys. All right, folks, I'm going to give you one last look at that. It's beautiful. We've got a nice bubbling broth going there. You can see it's thickened up really good. And now, I don't like a dry adobo. Okay, I make my adobo with I like to have a lot of broth to put with the rice in my adobo. So this is what Philo's adobo looks like. You can see it's a wet adobo, not a dry. A lot of people might make a dry adobo. Mine is very wet in nature, and that's because I like to put that broth over my rice. Alright, this is going to be about it for you guys. What we're going to do now, put the lid back on this, turn it down a little bit, and just let it go. Just let it simmer. for about 15-20 minutes. And that's going to be it, folks. I'm going to crack those eggs and put those boiled eggs back in there at the end, and I'll give you a photograph of that at the very end, okay? That's going to conclude the video portion of Philo in the Philippines' world-famous pork adobo recipe. Thanks so much for watching. More later, guys. Keep smiling. Okay, here we go. Here we go on a 1-week liquor ban starting Saturday, December 8th. And I guess I'm not exactly sure where this is coming from. It was just a couple of days ago. Angeles City had like 2 cases for the entire day. So I'm not exactly sure what this knee-jerk reaction is about. It's not like there's been a serious surge in cases here. So I don't know. Now, I'm living here in the city. Did I miss a news story or something? I don't know. It was just a few days ago. They had single-digit cases here in Angeles City. So I'm not sure what the knee-jerk reaction is. As we all know, when they do a liquor ban, what they're thinking about is they're thinking about those Filipino folks that do the barkada naman. They do the barkada. They sit around the table with a bottle of NP, and they pour a shot, they drink it, and they pass it. Okay, that's culture here. And they don't just do it with NP, they do it with Red Horse. They'll do it with a San Mig Light, SMB. You know, 8 guys around the table and 1 shot glass. All right, now if there is a variant that's going to strike you down, what's the quickest way to spread it? Yeah, 8 guys drinking from 1 glass. So that's why they do these liquor bans. For those of you who don't know, they do the liquor bans because in this culture, the men drink together in a big circle. That's the whole reason that they ban the liquor. All right, if you didn't know that, that's a little cultural shit about the Philippines for you. All right, you're only going to get that on one channel. Philo in the Philippines, baby. Come back later for a little bit more in the conclusion of our beautiful pork adobo cooking show. More later, guys. All right, welcome back. Here we go. We're looking really good. And just to add a little color to this recipe, okay, full peppers, full-size peppers. Got my eggs here. This adobo is done. We're going to turn that off and just let that sit. This adobo is done. All I need to do now is just spoon some of this delicious broth over the top of these eggs. Yeah, baby, look at that. That is how you cook adobo, folks. Those potatoes are so soft and delicious. You do it this way so you don't break the eggs up. Oh, I'm fogging up. I'm fogging up the lens. Sorry, folks. Sorry. Shooting with the GoPro Hero 10, by the way, if anybody's wondering why the picture's so beautiful. We don't want those eggs necessarily to break, okay? That's why you don't try to stir them. If you try to stir them down in the mix, those eggs are going to break. You don't want that to happen. It's going to ruin the presentation of your beautiful dish. That is how we roll on Philo in the Philippines. Your final look. Those potatoes and carrots are delicious. The sauce is delicious. That is how you do Philo in the Philippines' world famous pork adobo. Thanks so much for watching us. It's time to go out on the town tonight now because we've got a liquor ban coming in, and you're going to meet my new friend, Navy squid named Terrell, who's retired Navy. Okay, he's retired Navy. He's in the same situation I am, just separated from his wife, and he's a long-time subscriber of mine. He's been a subscriber to my channel for over 3 years. He saw that I moved here and was having, you know, he saw what I was going through, that I moved here. He did the same thing. He moved here, ended up living in the exact same building as me. He's just 1 floor down. Yeah, amazing. Great guy. We've already done 2 walk-arounds in Astro Park. He loves to walk just like I do, and I'm showing him the ropes in Angeles City because he's from Iba. Northern Zambales, Iba is where he lived, and he's been there for quite a few years. Anyway, You guys, thanks so much for watching the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook Philo in the Philippines so you can get a real-time look at what's going on here day to day. I post a lot of stuff that I find interesting for my subscribers. Thanks so much for watching. Keep smiling, and we'll see you in the next video, baby.